If anyone thinks we're getting less video review next season, I think you're in for a big disappointment. I think next year there will be not less, but more video review. What do you think it looks like, Gord?
And, it is interesting when Gary Bettman gets involved, and I think you brought it up before that why there's no flood in shootouts is he's sitting there and saying people are leaving.
Yeah.
They don't like the flood. So they changed it just because he wants to make it fans first. So obviously video review will be very sensitive about the fans and about the timing and not adding time, but also sensitive that the fans are all looking up and seeing something that the four guys on the ice don't have the ability to take a look at. And the 20,000 or 18,000 are seeing what should have been the correct call, and these four, not so much. Yeah. So I would think use it as a tool to help the officials, an aid they could go for. I don't know. I've mentioned I would give up offsides. My trade-off would be offsides, forget it.
Doesn't sound like the NHL is going to go. I'm with you 100%. Yeah. I can't see the NHL go.
So
and Commissioner Bettman's already said, look, no, that
okay,
ship has sailed.
So anyway, that ship has sailed. So the Landeskog one's what did it for me. But anyway, that's fine. But the other part about whether it was the major penalty given in the Vegas series, whether it's the glove pass and all those other things, whether it was reviewing whether Charlie McAvoy should have got a major or not, I think each case the officials would welcome that, and that would have put out some fires.
So video review then for infractions, or are we just looking at expanded video review for goals? Because there's a huge difference between the Timo Meier hand pass and the Cody Eakin cross-check on Joe Pavelski.
Well, I'm looking at calling a major penalty and a goal, because the hand pass doesn't matter if it gets back out. It's not a goal. I'm saying, and I'm, in my opinion.
No, but the idea of video review for things that lead to a goal.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I'm saying it also means if it didn't lead to a goal, you wouldn't have to review it, obviously. So, yeah, it leads to a goal, and also the major penalty, and the official can initiate it. That's the point. It helps them out, saying he's got to make the call first. Say, I'm going to call a major penalty, okay, but I want to look at something, or I'm going to call a goal, but I want to look at something too. There's a niggling doubt in each case, and I think the opposing team would actually say, okay, they're pissed off at the time, but the right call was made, and that really is what should matter.
Anthony, you're a player.
10 years ago, I would say no, but video review for everything. Technology now, it's not like it's 5-10 years ago technology where it takes 6-7 minutes to make a call. There's guys now watching their shifts before they even get off the ice. It's already on the iPad. I'm not sure if you've seen some of the players looking at the iPads. They're watching their shifts. So you can have probably a live feed to the refs from whoever's watching up top.
For everything?
For absolutely everything. Offsides, face-offs, throw them out. There needs to be an eye in the sky.
Hang on a second. His toe is in the circle.
If they add an extra 5 minutes to the game, keep in mind for the owners, that's 5 minutes extra for the concessions to be open, a couple extra waters for the fans. Everyone's happy.
I don't know that there's an appetite for 3-hour games.
Yeah, I just say, wait, great. There's a video review. I'm going to get another beer when they open it, especially for the 5. But the other part. I was talking to somebody the other day. Gordash, good friend. He used to be general manager of the Jays, so he's going to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. So chatting with a gentleman that ran the Seattle franchise way back when, and he's also involved in baseball. And he just said they're starting with the automated umpires in certain levels now. Yeah. They're starting with, they're getting rid of the home plate umps and, that. So I don't know, where you start looking at how many eyes in the skies, where do you get rid of the human factor? I believe these are all important elements in the game of hockey.
But the problem is there's so many calls that are missed that look like they're blatant, easily called, but the game is so fast that the refs are missing them. So I think you need that extra element, that extra eye in the sky to actually get the call right.
Okay, hang on.
I'm a coach in the GTHL right now, and I am literally almost in tears for some of my players for some of the calls that the refs just don't see because the game's so quick.
True or false? On every shift, you could call at least one penalty if you just followed the rule book to a T, and that starts with the faceoff.
That is true.
So you could appeal every single goal. That's my problem with all of it.
Yeah.
If you're going to just follow the rule book and find an infraction on every single play, we're throwing out a ton of goals here, guys.
Well, I'm talking about
under the spirit of just get it right.
I'm talking about the officials being the ones to initiate. Now, other people can say you can have coaches challenge, maybe just have 2 coaches challenges a game. Maybe that'll work, but you know what? You're going to get the timeout factor again.
I'm done with coaches challenges.
I know, because
they made this mess.
I know. They're going to use it for the timeout factor, so that's why I'm just saying give the aid to the officials on the ice and let them have the human element. And they can also say, no, not going to review it. I'm fine. I saw it. I'm going with what I saw, and we're going to leave it at that.
Sean McIndoe, Down Goes Brown at The Athletic, has written extensively about this lately. Some really interesting points that he raises. And who else has raised an interesting point about the video review is Eric Dahachik, our old friend in Calgary, who puts forward the idea of having a super review Each team gets one super review per game, and it can be for anything. It can be anything. So it's not just coach's challenge for video, for goalie interference or for offside. It is anything, but you only get one.
But you maintain it if you don't blow it, correct? You must.
There has to be some.
What's the
type of
penalty for getting it
consideration
wrong?
for it.
Make the wrong call.
Same as losing timeout, I would imagine. But there's the idea that you can do it once. Listen, at the end of all this, you know who wrecked it? You know who took the spirit of the offside review? I think it was a good one. The Matt Duchene play. Okay, blew it. All right. Yeah. So the spirit was good, but then what do coaches do each and every time there's a new wrinkle?
Beat
You're a
the
coach,
system.
Anthony. You know it because you guys
take advantage
spend
of it.
hours and days going through this stuff. They wreck it.
Yeah.
And now we're down to pixels.
But the other part is you could still, if in my way, call the egregious offside. The Matt Duchene play, which is that standalone barometer of why they did it, you could still apply. The goal could have been scored, and the refs could have said, we think we missed a 20-foot offside. Yep. That would fall versus a millimeter. No, I'm not going to second-guess the linesman on the line that way. Anyway, that would fall in the ranks about the officials' ability to ask for a review.
I hope at the end of all of this, there is more transparency from the league and the officials about why calls are made, as opposed to just, because what do we hear now? And the official gets on the ice. After video review was determined, there was no goaltender interference, no goal.
Why? Yeah.
Well, that doesn't tell us that. That's the most empty calorie thing anyone could stand at center ice and say. Tell us why. Why in this official's estimation was there no goalie interference? Well, that's a relationship you have because listen, we all do the same thing. We all watch these things and go, "Huh?"
Yeah, but
there's no explanation other than well, that's the way it is.
If we have that super rule, why not have a supercomputer actually explaining exactly why the call was made? We're going super here.
So the good orator becomes an official, and then when he calls a goal, he says, "Nice pass from Merrick to Stewart." What, a little play-by-play to throw in the goal? Wes McCauley will ref till he's 127 with this one because he's like a color commentator on ice.
Wes McCauley would love it because he'd get more mic time and get more chance to explain these types of things. But I mean, ultimately, at the end of all this, aren't you really talking about the relationship that you have between the game, the rule book, and the fan? Like standing in between the game and the fan is the rule book. And if officials are going to call it one very specific way, if officials are going to rule out goals or rule on goaltender interference, don't you think there should be more of a responsibility to explain why the calls were made?
In layman's terms, a couple do it. You know, you're right. There's I would go that in layman's terms or laywoman's terms, whatever, that they give that kind of, and I've heard some do it at times. They'll say goaltender interference and they'll give a little more detail.
What do you think, Stewie?
I'm of the opinion, I think you got to get it right. You got to get it right, and it would be different if we were wasting 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. But there's been too many calls this year that they're blatant calls. They're easy calls to make, and the refs aren't getting them right. So you got to find a way to correct that. So whether that's having a computer, whether that's having extra cameras, but with this technology, I'm seeing it now. When I played, it wasn't around, but now the calls are on the Jumbotron before the refs even have a chance to skate over to review it. So it can be done in a quick fashion.
And we're really
as long as it doesn't slow down the game,
and really
I'm all for whatever they do.
It's inevitable. It will extend the games.
Okay, I don't know, because these calls are pretty quick and to the point when you look at the calls, the egregious ones they didn't see that we're talking about.
Whistle, pause, go to the penalty box, look at the video.
And how many are we talking about? Like whatever number of games in the playoffs, we're talking, what, about 4 calls? That stand out, right? I mean, that's not a lot of calls. Yep. And we're talking there's an inordinate number of them.
There's 4 now. But my point is when you open the door for further video review, then all of a sudden everything comes under more scrutiny. And if that, why not this?
Well, that's why if you kept it in the official's back pocket, that they're the ones that call, then you cannot call for review. It's the official that can say, I am calling because we are unsure of what we actually saw, and this is the call. Because the NFL got caught that once. They wouldn't start calling touch. They wouldn't go, you got to make a call. Make a call. You got to make a call. And then you go and make a decision. And I think those are the 2 ones about a major penalty and a goal. And if you have a question on either, review it.